Hello, Nedra. Yeah, you just have to make sure you take your lunch at noon, right? That's great. How long do you get for lunch? You get half an hour? We'll just wait another minute or two, see who else hops on. 30 minutes to an hour, probably depends on how busy you are, huh? Right. I've had this little tickle in my throat that I haven't been able to get rid of, so I hope I'm not going to cough all the way through my live today. Okay, well, let's go to my desktop here. All right, well, welcome everybody. Don't have many people on just now, but maybe a few more people will hop on. And I apologize for just having my desk today, but I have classes coming up this weekend and I'm in full class prep mode with stuff everywhere. So that's why you just have I've just cleared a little clean spot on my desk today to do this. But I'm very excited about what I have to show you. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. Thank you if you're watching the replay. And if you're here live, let me know who's here. Say hi. So first of all, don't forget that today, if you haven't heard, and if you haven't heard, you must be living under a rock maybe, but today is free shipping on orders of $75 or more. So until midnight tonight, Mountain Time. Hi, Denise. So I've got my order all ready to go in. I haven't sent it yet because I let my local customers know that if they had anything they wanted to add, if they just had a couple of items and didn't have $75 worth, I would add items for them. And I've given them until 5 o'clock today to let me know. So I've got all my stuff input and I'm just waiting to see if I get any more. I've got a few customer orders. I'm just waiting to see if I get any more. But it's Stampin' Up! Is very busy with their shipping at the moment. They had a record day on April 4th with 20 times the usual number of orders received. So it was a bit crazy, but they say they are catching up. All the orders that were placed on the 4th have shipped, but with free shipping now, orders are taking a little longer to come. So just be patient, but it's worth saving the 11% on shipping for sure. I'm going to be stocking up. So as you know, we just have a little bit of time left with these two catalogs. Both of these retire on May 1st, and then we'll have our brand new catalog on May 2nd. And all our staples in our annual catalog, like cardstocks and envelopes, adhesives, all things like that, are increasing in price. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to be ordering a bunch of my favorite cardstocks, not the brand new ones, but the cardstock colors that are carrying over. I'm going to be ordering a bunch of those, stocking up on white cardstocks, envelopes, adhesives, and all those kinds of things, and just save a little bit of money because I know they'll all be going up next month. So anyway, so without further ado, let's get on with the project today because I'm pretty excited about it, and I hope you will be too. So let me just put my catalogs here out the way and let me show you. So this is what we are going to be making today. Now, as you can tell, this one I made about 18 months ago, and the designer series paper is no longer available. And so actually we made this, I held a retreat, held some retreats about a year and a half ago. And this was one of the projects that was an optional project to make. And I've been meaning to make a video using it since then, because I thought it was just a really cute gift idea. And I've never got round to it. Well, the box that it uses to make this is retiring. It's only available for another couple of weeks, and it's heavily discounted. So I thought I have to do that before the box retires and show you how to make this fun. So it's all, you know, it's note paper in here. So isn't this cute? So this one used the tulip bundle, but let's get on and make one with some currant paper. So these are the boxes, and they come in a pack of 8. Mine, I don't have the original packaging anymore, but they come in a pack of 8, and they're usually $10, and now they're retiring, so they're $4. So basically 50 cents a box, right? So you get the bottom and the top. So let me show how they make up usually. If you're going to make them up as a box. So super easy. You just fold on all the score lines, and let's go backwards first maybe. So this goes together just like a regular box. This is the bottom, and then this is the top, and this goes together exactly the same. It's got this pretty scallop edge. So these boxes would make, you can put all, they're a really good size. They're about, I think they're just under 4 by 4. I'll measure in just a minute. But you can fit all kinds of things in them, and you can decorate them however you like. You can put designer series paper around them or along the top. And I'm all like fingers and thumbs here. But I wanted to show you how it looks before I start to kind of doctor it. So that just goes on the top like that. So really pretty boxes, and let's see what they measure. They are they're 3.5 by 3.5, and they are 2.5 inches tall. So they're a really good size. You could fit jewelry, some little mini toiletries, you know, lotions and lip balms. You could put candy, you could put jewelry, a little pair of socks, a little baby gift, you know, a candle, all kinds of stuff you could fit in these. And like I say, you can decorate them however you like. But today I'm going to turn mine into this this note cube here. So let me show you how to do it. And I'm going to be using some designer series paper that's still available but is retiring. So let me see. Let me just grab a new one rather than fuss around pulling that apart. So let me grab another base and a lid. So let's work on the base first. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut away this front here, and I'm going to do it a little bit different. I kind of modified my design and made it a little bit easier. So I'm going to use a punch. So I'm going to use this Essential Tag punch here. This is retiring and also discounted. So it is, let me look at my list here. It's called the Essential Tag Punch. It's normally $19 and it's $9.50. So that's 50% off, right? Is that right? I think so. So let's look at our box here. So this is going to be the bottom, and I want the flap to be at the back of the box. So I want my opening to be here. So before you close it up, and you need to do it before you close it, because I want to get my punch all the way down to the bottom, and of course I won't be able to if it's closed. So I'm going to open up my punch and slide it in. So again, you want the flap of the box. This is the side that we're working on. I've got a score line here. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to put my punch in, and what I'm doing is my score line is right kind of here. So I'm lining it up with the score line, and I'm just kind of centering, eyeballing to make sure it's centered left to right. And let's see, I can, you know, with the punches, you can press down slightly to make sure you're good. I think that looks pretty good. And then when you're satisfied, you can punch. Now I've got a little bit remaining here, so you can either just go back in and punch, again line it up and punch the rest, or you can just do it with scissors, which is what I'm going to do, because actually this part will be covered. So I'm just going to snip these little pieces out. So I think these would make a wonderful gift. This is going to be a birthday gift, but you could make a bunch up for Christmas, or Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up. You could do like a more masculine version and do it for Father's Day. I think these are, everybody needs like some paper on their desk, right? Okay, so now the next part we're going to do is put some designer series paper, decorate. So my box is going to be like this. This is the bottom. And the paper I'm going to be using is this paper, which is from the Hues of Happiness designer series paper. Let me show you. So this is retiring, but it's still available. So I checked everything I was going to be using to make sure it's still available, because stuff is going fast. So this is the beautiful paper. And the suite, there's a Hues of Happiness suite. The stamp set has actually sold out. The dies are available. So really beautiful, beautiful papers. And let's see, which is the one. This is the one that I used. So when you're cutting your strips, you want to make sure that you're cutting this way so that you get all the same color. Because if you cut this way, you'll get some of the yellows and the pinks, which would be fine, I suppose, but I wanted kind of all the same color. And then on the back, there are all these lovely kind of watercolors and a few other stars and things like that. So really beautiful paper. That one's pretty. I'm going to be using some of that too. So you need, but you could do any design you want, obviously. And like I say, you could make a more masculine one if you liked, with some, you know, more masculine paper. So you want 2 strips that are 2 inches by 8 inches, and you want to score them at 1/2 inch and 5 1/8. So I've done that on both of them. So I'm just going to fold them with my, burnish them with my bone folder a little bit. And you need 2 of those, and those are we're going to wrap around the box. So those are going to go, so remember, this is the top here. So if you have a directional paper, make sure that you've got it the right way up. So this is going to this 1/2 inch piece is going to tuck in here, and then it's going to wrap, oh, I did my scoring. I need another, let's see. Oh, that's fine, actually. There should be another score line in here, but it's okay. Because what I want to do is I just want to glue to start with. So let me make another score line. So I don't have a score line here. I'm just going to make one real quick. That's easy. So I'm going to glue this on, and I do recommend liquid glue here. It's a little bit easier. If you're not a liquid glue fan, you could definitely use your preferred adhesive, but I do find for this, so that you can wiggle stuff into place, that liquid glue is the easiest. So I'm going to, and I'm doing a section at a time because otherwise it gets a bit tricky. So I'm lining it up with the top of the box, and I've got my little 1/2 inch score tucked around, and then I'm just doing this panel first. So I can, I find it easier to do a little bit at a time, otherwise with liquid glue you can get in a big sticky mess. So then let's do this panel right here. And if it's not quite even along the top, don't worry, because that part is actually going to be covered up a bit. So you could actually make your strip a little bit narrower if you like, but it helps to be able to line it along the top. You can see I've gone a little off there, but that's fine. And then we will tuck this around. And just make sure that's really well stuck. So I'll put all the directions underneath and the products I used. I'll do that a little bit later. So then I've got another 12 inches isn't quite long enough to go around, so that's why you need to have 2 strips. So I'm going to make another, I'm going to add that, and I'll measure where this score line should be so that you'll know. So let's do exactly the same on the other side. And you will have a seam at the back, but it doesn't really, you know, no one's going to notice that. Let's see. So I need to put this like that. A bit off here. Let's see here. Nice. That's okay. I'll fix that in a minute. So I'm a little bit crooked. That's why I say liquid glue is the way to go. And the mono, if you are in the green glue camp, it is going up in the next catalog. So do order, when you place your free shipping order, do add some liquid glue to your order. And then this is going to fold. I'm just going to adjust my score line a little bit because it wasn't quite right. You don't even need to do the score lines, really. You can just fold it round. But it helps me a little bit to know where to put my glue because, like I say, if I glue the whole thing at once, it gets a bit messy and I get glue everywhere. So it just helps me a little bit. All right. So that's all my designer series paper on. Now I can close up the box. So I'm going to fold along the score lines. Fold them in. And that. On my flap. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one flap down, and I want this all glued too. I want it all to be really, really secure. So I'm going to see if I can get this box a bit more square. There we go. So I'm going to put glue on one flap. And close that down. Let's see, I've got someone. Hi, Sharon. Sharon from Kalispell, MT, Montana. Is that right? Montana? MT. I think that's Montana. And then glue on this flap. How are you today, Sharon? And then I am going to put a little bit of glue on the outside here because I want that to stick down also. So then let's carefully fold this, tuck it in carefully. Right, then I can turn it up the right way and really press down well. Could maybe take my bone folder, do a little bit of make sure those sides are all nicely stuck down. You don't want any gaps. Let's do along where the flap is a little bit better. Okay. Oh, I was a bit off there. What happened there? I think that'll be fine once I get I'm a little bit off, but I think it'll be fine once I get the top on. So I wasn't quite centered there, was I? But that's all right. If you don't have a punch, you can measure you can find out if you don't have this punch, you could look for another punch that might work. Just look through your punches and you might have one that isn't necessarily a tag, but it would work. If not, you can just cut down with your scissors, just measure in equally, not like I did, just measure equally in from each side. And you want, I'll tell you what the gap is here. It's about 1.5 inches. So you just want about a 1.5 inch gap in the middle. It doesn't have to be, could be a little more or a little less. But it's really just so that you can grab the paper, okay. All right, so now let's work on the lid. So the first thing I want to do is trim this down a little bit because these are going to actually end up inside the box and they're too long. So let me grab my trimmer and we're going to trim this down to 3.25 inches. And it doesn't have to be exact, but that's approximately. So I'm just going to cut off, and you may not go all the way through the second piece, and you can just finish that with scissors. So let me just grab this, cut this off with a pair of scissors. And this is all going to be inside and hidden, so it doesn't have to be super neat. But I am going to keep this large piece here with the flap. I'm going to need that, and you'll see why later. So then let's burnish all these score lines, fold all these in. And then let's bring this in. And so how this is going to go, this is going to sit on the top. So you want the side that doesn't have any flap, that's going to be the front. So you're going to put it, you have to wiggle it into place a little bit. So see what I mean now about if you've got any areas that aren't quite straight on the top, it's going to be fine. And then these are all going to tuck in. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Let me pull this off again. I want to wedge these pieces a little bit so they don't get in the way of each other. So just kind of cut a little wedge out. That way it makes them easier to stick in. So once you've done the first one of these, it'll be easy, and you can make several, like say for gifts, for Mother's Day, birthday, Father's Day, Christmas. All right, so let's put this back on now. So remember, this bit with the no flap goes at the front. Wiggle it on there. Come on. Get on. There we go. And then we'll tuck these in like this. And I'm going to glue them in one at a time. So I'll start with this one. So I'm just going to put glue on this flap. And tuck it in. Make sure it's stuck really well. And the next one, just work your way around. Make sure you're all the way down here. Not quite all the way down. I am a little off here. I don't know if you can see that. I didn't do that a great job, but when you do yours, you'll do a better job than me. It's going to look beautiful. No one's going to notice. And then glue on the last flap here. And tuck that one in. All right. And don't worry if it's sticking out a little bit, bubbling at the side a little bit. If you want, you can glue it. We can do that later. If it's still kind of sticking out later, we can put a little bit of glue underneath. I'm just making sure all my flaps inside are really stuck down well. Okay, then the next step is obviously we need to cut through here. So I'm just literally going to cut down the middle, and I'm going to fold those over. And then we'll take some more glue. And now this is where you need a couple of clothespins or binder clips, if you have something like this to use. Just really helps to help it dry. Just, you know, stay in put till it's dry. So I'll just tuck that one around, and let's see, I'll use a clothespin, I think. One like that, and then we'll do the same on the other side. And then we'll take another clothespin. So that's the base to our note cube. So let's put that to one side and let that all dry, and let's work on the base. So what I've got is, so I'm talking about, it's kind of sitting on a little bit of a base. So let me show you how to do that. So you need a piece of chipboard. This can be any kind of chipboard from, you know, the back of some designer series paper or from a cardboard box or something like that. It doesn't have to be super thick. And it's 3 7/8 of an inch squared. So I've got that, and then I've got another piece of designer series paper that coordinates. It can be the same or it can coordinate. So this is a different one, but it has the same lovely colors. And then so this piece is, let me look at my list here. This piece is 5 inches square, and I've scored a 1/2 inch all the way around on each side. So let's just fold along those. Yeah, this paper is beautiful. It's sad it's going away, but Stampin' Up always retires their designer series paper. Then I'm just going to snip off the right where the two score lines meet. I'm just going to snip off a triangle on all the corners. So what do you think? Can you see yourself making one of these for somebody, do you think? There's still time to get the boxes. So let's just put some glue onto here. Stick on, doesn't really matter which way up because we're going to cover the bottom too. And then I'm just going to put glue all the way around here. On each flap. Can do all of them at once. Just cutting off the corner there makes it easier to fold in. Right, then, and this step is optional. I've just got, oh, where did I put it? I had another square. Let's see if I can find it. That is odd. Let's see. I have another square to put over the bottom, but I have apparently misplaced it. Let's see if I can cut another one quickly. Oh, here it is. So this piece is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. It's just a little bit smaller. And this is optional because this is the bottom. No one's going to see this. But if you want to just make it a little bit neater, we can just put this piece on. Just to finish it off a little bit better. But this is completely optional. You don't need to do this. And I'm going to kind of line it up so that the colours go the same way. So that's that. And then now I can take my box and put it on. So let's put some glue on the bottom here. And then we get to the fun part. Well, this is all fun, I think, actually, but make sure you do a fair amount of glue here so that it really sticks. Yes, I think so, Sharon, putting that extra piece. Not that anyone's going to be lifting it up and looking at the bottom, but you never know. So, which should we have at the front? Let's see, the darker piece or the lighter? I think I'll put the darker at the front, doesn't really matter. I'm going to see if I can center this. Center it the best you can. I'm not doing a very good job of lining up stuff, am I, so far, but I'll see if I can do better with this one. Now you could make this base a little bigger if you like, or a little smaller. I kind of like this amount of gap. That's pretty good, I think, around the edge. Let's see, I can just maybe put my punch inside. I'll just leave that, make sure that. Okay, now I need to do, so that's our box all made. Now let's work on the pen, the little pen holder and the pen. So do you remember that piece that I saved from the lid that I cut off? I'm going to use this to make the pen holder. So I'm going to cut this down to 2 1/2 by 2. So let's see. So let's cut off the little edge pieces because there's kind of a little cut in there. So let's just cut these edge pieces off. And then I need, so I can do 2 this way. In fact, that is about 2, so that's perfect. We'll just leave that. It's a fraction over, but it's fine. And then we want 2 1/2. And then I'm going to score at every 1/2 inch. So there. And I'm going back and forth a few times because it's quite thick. And let's go back this way. There is a score line that goes across that was part of the flap, but we'll cover that up with some designer series paper and it won't notice. So then let's score this. And then before we seal it all up, let's get a little tiny piece of designer series paper. This is, I think, 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. And I'm just going to attach this. Let's see, is it going to be easier to do this? This is just going to make into kind of like a little box. I'm going to cut off a little. Did you see how it's not quite square when I fold it together? So I'm going to just trim a little bit. And then it should be better. Yes, that's better. And then I can wrap this round. So let's just stick this on. And that's going to cover up that. It's going to be a bit more decoration. Whoops, my glue is, there we go. A little bit more decoration, it'll cover up that little score line. Everybody's very quiet today. So let's stick this on here. And then we can fold this round. And then we'll put some glue on here, which was the narrower tab where I cut off the little sliver. I don't know why I keep putting the lid back on my glue, because I keep having to grab it again. And so you could use Stampin' Seal Plus or tear and tape maybe if you're not a liquid glue fan. But I think liquid glue is the way to go for this project. And then we'll just fold that in to make our little square. Just take a pencil and make sure it's going to stay. I've got a little extra bit there, I'm just going to trim that off. And let's make sure my pen fits in it. Yes, perfect. And then, so now let's take a box. I can probably take off those clothespins. And this is just going to go stick onto the back. Kind of wherever you like, really, on the back. So a bit more glue. And you don't have to do the pen if you don't want, but I think it's really fun to do the pen. So let's see what I did there. Yes. So again, we'll stick this on and hold it for just a minute. I wonder if a clothespin will fit into there. Yeah, there we go. I'll hold that for a minute. All right, so let's leave that to dry. Now the pen. So I'm sure some of you have seen these before. I don't know if you can tell, but this has matching paper inside. And I'm sure some of you have seen these. How many of you have seen these RSVP pens? They're really fun. So you can find these, you used to be able to get them at the dollar store. No, there's no bottom, Denise, and it doesn't really, I mean, it pokes out a little bit, but it doesn't fall out. And it's going to be sitting on the desk anyway, so it's fine. You could put a bottom on if you want, but that might be kind of tricky. The other way you can do it, which I did one time, I'll see if I can show you, is instead of making a little box, I just took a piece of cardstock that was like about maybe an inch, and I just stuck it, glued it on both ends and made it kind of curve out so the pen would fit in, but it kept coming off. I find this way is more effective, but no, it doesn't fall out. It's not, because part of it's kind of hanging over the edge of the base. So anyway, back to the pens. How many of you have seen these? You used to be able to get them at the dollar store all the time, but you can find them at Walmart. You can get them on Amazon, and they come in different size packs, and they're different colors too. But how they work is this part just unscrews and the cartridge comes out, and you can put something inside so that it's not just clear. So have you seen these before, any of you? I bet you have. I showed a teacher friend of mine yesterday and she was very familiar with them. So what you need for this is you need a piece of designer series paper, and I've gone with the same design. And this is 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches. And you want to just, I'm going to just wrap it around this pencil a little bit just to make it kind of round. And just kind of, see, do I have something smaller? I have something a little bit smaller. Let's see, maybe a paintbrush. But I think that'll be all right. You get the idea. You're just going to wrap it, you're just going to curl it round so it's kind of into a tube. And just wrap it a little bit with my fingers. And then you're going to take this out, and you can just, let me see if I can get something that's a little bit narrow. I need to make it into a smaller, oops, I need to make it into a smaller, see what I have here. You need like a skewer or something. See if I have a skinny, this is a paintbrush, it's a bit narrower. See if this will help. There we go, that's a bit better. But even maybe wrap it around this. You just need to get it a bit more curved around. And then you can just poke it in. Come on, go in. She says, let me see if I can. It's still not quite wrapped. Let me wrap it around here. Maybe that's what I usually do. There we go. That's going to get it nice and tight. There we go. Perfect. Why didn't I do that in the first place? So just wrap it around the pen cartridge so you've got it nice and tight. And then it'll just slide right in. There we go. And there you have your matching pen. And just poke this back in. Screw it on. How fun is that? So yeah, RSV pens, Amazon. I think I got mine on Amazon, and they come in different size packed, and they're very inexpensive. And they're actually really nice pens. And I like that they have a lid. And they come in different colors. So check those out. I'll try and remember to put a link. So that's going to go in our little pen holder like that. So now let's put the paper in. I'm going to take it out and I'll tell you about the paper. I'm going to take it out of here. So what I did, I have a heavy duty guillotine paper cutter. And I just used copy paper and just cut it in, and I'll tell you the diameter. This is 3, it's just a touch shy of 3.5 inches. Well, it's pretty close to 3.5 inches. So you can cut it yourself, but you can also buy just stacks of paper like this on Amazon. And you can even buy it in colors, or you could even buy some, you wouldn't want it too dark, but you could even buy, oh, you know what would be fun is to buy some pastel paper that would go with your designer series paper, like a pale blue or violet or yellow. Wouldn't that be fun to actually have matching, to match to your designer series paper? But I have boring old white. So that's that. That's pretty good. So then we just need to do a tag and a ribbon. So how pretty. Isn't that lovely? So for the ribbon, I have a couple of choices. You can help me choose. Let's see, that's the wrong box. So I've got this this rose gold ribbon that is retiring, which I think would be really pretty. So there's that. Or I've got this pool party, which also goes really pretty with the paper. And this isn't retiring, this is carrying over. So let me know in the comments which ribbon you think I should use. And while you're deciding, let's do the tag quickly. So I've got I've already die cut these. I've got a piece of white, a white circle that is cut from, let me show you the two dies that die sets. So the small circle is cut from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I used the, let's see, the 1, 2, 3, fourth one up from the smallest. Louisa says she likes both. Well, that's no help, Louisa. Denise says rose gold, and Sharon says pool party. Oh no, we have a tie. And then the purple one I cut from the layering circles, and these sadly are retiring. I wanted to do a scalloped one, but I've misplaced. I'm missing a scallop one. It was probably in another project box somewhere. So I cut, I think it's this, is it that one? That one. So this one right here, which is probably like the third from the largest. But anyway, you can do your tag whatever shape or size you like. And the stamps I'm using, let's gather all my pieces up here. I am going to use today this stamp set, Framed Florets, which is retiring. It's still available, but it is retiring and it's not discounted at the moment. And I'm using this one here for a special person because I'm going to make this a special person on a special day. I'm going to do this as a birthday card. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Gorgeous Grape, which is one of the colours. For a special person on a special day. And I'm going to stamp a little bit towards the bottom, see if I can not get my head in, because I want to leave room for to punch the hole. And then what I'm going to do with the Daffodil Delight is I'm just going to stamp a couple of flowers that are kind of lighter. Let me see, let me just grab, actually let me grab a piece of grid paper so I'm not, oh, here's my grid paper from last week. Do you remember that? Remember Denise commenting on my pretty grid paper? So let's see how dark this is. Oh, it's pretty pale. I think my Daffodil Delight might need re-inking. I was wondering if I needed to stamp off, but I don't think I need to. So I'm just going to do a couple of flowers that kind of overlap a little bit, like this. Do this one in a different direction. It doesn't show that much, but it just adds a little something. And then we can stick these two together. My glue. And then I need a hole punch. And Stampin' Up doesn't sell a hole punch like this, but I know you probably all have one of some sort. If not, you can make a hole with your, take your pick tool. So I'll just do a hole like that. And then let's see, what do I have for ribbon? Denise says rose gold. Sharon says pool party. Always with the time. And Louisa says pool party. So I think pool party won. So I don't know. I kind of like rose gold, but I'm going to go with the popular vote. But pool party is going to look really pretty. Anything would look really pretty. So let's tie a nice bow. Let's see if I can tie a nice bow. Let's see, how much do I need? A little bit more. So this is still available, this ribbon. I'm going to take the pin out for just a second. It's going to get in the way. I'm not very good at tying bows like this, so I'll see how I do. Let's see. Oh, it's not too bad, huh? Get my ribbon scissors. And then let's get some of this trim. What's this called? Elegant, Simply Elegant trim. And we'll just do a little bit this to tie through. Oops. Let's just tie this. I'm just going to do this in a knot, just like that. And leave a little bit of a end. Might make that ribbon just a little bit smaller. Okay, put this back in, my pen. And there's our lovely gift. So what do you think? Isn't that pretty? I love it. Except for being crooked in the front, and so it's easy to pull out the paper. But what do you think? Do you think you would give something like this a try? I think that would make a really lovely gift. And then I think the pen is just like what's the expression? Something on the something. What'd you say? The cherry on the top. So yeah, I'll post all the dimensions and I'll post the products. But here's my original one, which of course no longer has its paper in it. But that was with the tulips from a little while back, and this really pretty ribbon that is retiring. I'm so sad. I love this ribbon. I think it's already sold out. And that was the tag, and I used the tailor-made tags for this. But anyway, I hope you will think about giving this a try. But those boxes are a steal. They're $4 for 8. So even if you don't make this, they're a really good deal just to have on hand for when you have a little gift. Just tie some pretty ribbon around it and put a little tag on, and it makes a beautiful gift. So anyway, I'm going to go off and work on my order a little bit more. Don't forget about free shipping today on orders $75 and over. Stock up on all those staples before the price goes up on them, and get those retiring items before they're gone. And there's my website up the top. If your order is less than $150, please use the host code. If it's more than $150, you'll get rewards. So don't use the host code. And if you're local to me and you want to just add a couple of items to my order, then let me know by 5 p.m. I'm going to expedite mine, so it'll get here fairly quick. So anyway, thank you so much everyone for joining me. I hope you like my project today, and I'll be back next week I'll be able to show you all my projects from my class. I have class coming up this weekend on Friday and Saturday, so I'll have all my class projects to show you. All right, take care everybody. Happy shopping. Go shop. Run, don't walk to your computer and place your order. All right, bye everyone. Have a great day.